All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Midwest R6. Today, we have an award show for you guys. We want to highlight everything throughout the entire season. My name is Chippy. I am joined by JD. Please say hello.
Hey guys, what's up?
It is going to be a banger, JD. I'm excited. You've been hosting this award show for quite a few times. I thought this year, why not? Let me join in. We'll have a little bit of fun, maybe pick a little bit of the players, but also highlight all the great accomplishments throughout the entire season.
I agree, but however, we just showcased the worst clips, so it's kind of a mixed feeling. But we definitely have to highlight some of these main people that we had in this league this year. There was a lot of great players.
Yes, definitely. So to start, we're gonna get into the awards first. We'll talk a little bit about it, and we'll get more and more into that. Um, to start, let's take a look at the bands and see who was attacked the most on the attack.
Yeah, nothing surprising going on here with Blackbeard. 38% of the time, I feel your pain, community. Blackbeard is way too strong of an operator. You guys definitely agree. You want nothing to do with him. This one, no doubt in my mind about this one. What do you think about that, Chippy?
I expect it, to be honest. I think Dokkaebi is really overpowered. I think having all that utility is so important. But Blackbeard, 40% ban rate, no one wants to run into a shield. Let's be real. I mean, Montaigne 13% as well. I don't like playing into shields. You don't like playing into shields. Great change, Ubisoft. We'll talk about that. But crazy, crazy bans. I am definitely expected this, to say the least.
100%.
Now let's flip it over to the other side. Let's take a little bit of a look at the defense side. Highest
Yeah,
ban rate. What is it?
nothing unexpected here. Nothing unexpected here. It has been the same for defensive operators the last several seasons at this point.
Yeah, I mean Mira, Azami, Valkyrie, all solid, solid bans. I think Fenrir definitely gets traded out for a lot of different operators depending on the map. But Azami and Valkyrie, in my opinion, are two great intel based ops, and Mira is always situational prowess. It shines supreme, especially when some of the maps like Nighthaven Labs and Clubhouse are played the most. But maybe we'll see that later, where those operators shine true.
I 100% agree. And I think this is something that we should just kind of keep in mind going into some of our grand finals tonight is who they're going to be banning. And as you kind of mentioned, some of the situational awareness that some of these ops bring, I'm very curious to see. I guarantee we're going to see at least, I'm going to say 2 out of these 4 at minimum get banned at one point tonight.
I agree. We're starting on map one tonight for Louisville versus MSU. And Cafe is a Mira dominated map, a Zami dominated map. If you're going to play piano within that, all those windows looking at you, having all the Kiba barriers to protect you are crucial to play anywhere within piano. But enough about that. Let's take a look at what's next. We want to highlight the people, everyone who was involved in our seasons. So let's take a look at the rookies, our top 5 players of the season. And this is also based on a minimum of 100 rounds played in the season.
I think there's some surprising names on here. Shout out these rookies though, these freshman players that kind of stepped up this year, right? You obviously made your name into the league. Definitely the big one that we see is Ottenberg with 2 out of the 4 slots, especially number 1 and 2. They
Mm-hmm.
are the ones to be. You also have some of the other newer teams as well. With GVSU, you have Carthage in there as well. And then again, Tanks making that kind of return, not specifically from last season, but the name from the team is back in some capacity for top 5.
Yeah. All these players are separated by about a 5% SPR rating as well. So keep that in mind, is even with the KDs, they were separated by like zero point 0.5 as well with KD. Incredible stuff. And even to highlight the player who's in fifth as our rookie had the highest kills per round for the rookies in this season.
Which I think is just completely outrageous that they're able to do something like this, especially in rookies, just getting into the comp scene. But as you mentioned, the 5 point difference on these SPR ratings, it's just something that we really have to highlight because it shows how close a lot of these players were to each other.
Yeah, Tanks had the most kills as well, and you see where he's at, fourth, right? That player rating is so crucial in understanding how these players are being impactful in every single round. But with the rookies out of the way, all those freshmen known, let's take a look at the sophomores, the people who got a year already under their belt, and how they can improve.
And definitely a lot of familiar faces on this one as well. A lot of them that you constantly see clips from, especially in top five. Some of these guys made their names in it. And just the names and the presence that they had this season definitely showcases why some of these sophomore players are on here, especially with Lodi from Rockford being number one. I think that it showed a lot of promise. He had 260 kills, so not number one in terms of our kills in this specific group. However, had the most impact compared to everybody else because of the role that he played as the IGL.
Yeah, and I think that's extremely crucial to keep in mind and to also highlight other players who are in our grand finals tonight. Mr. Epic, fifth on the sophomore list. He is a player to watch for tonight. He is absolutely dominant. He has major impact in every single round he plays. So I want to take a look forward at that and make sure we keep an eye out for how impactful Mr. Epic is tonight.
He's definitely one of those players that we have to stay watching out for. He's going to make an impact play. We know he's going to have some presence in that game. It's just how is he going to be doing that? And that's up to the team to set him up for tonight. But I also wanted to mention Watt in second place with Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
They're also going for a grand finals tonight with the
Yes.
D3 through 4. So his presence is being quite shown throughout the comp scene. And the fact that he's doing that his sophomore year and making grand finals showcases that I was here to play and they're not going to mess around.
No, not at all. I want you guys to all at home keep an eye out. Who else on this list is in a grand final tonight? Shows you just the amount of impact these players had all night. But, or all season, I should say, not all night. Keep an eye out all day. Anyways, let's take a look at the juniors and see who was the best in their third year of Collegiate Siege.
And taking a look at it, I'm not shocked at all. We talked about how these teams are in the grand finals. Half of this group could have been or is in the grand finals. Where you have number one from Louisville. They're here. They're here tonight. Jay Razor is here. He's the gunner for this team. So it is really crucial to see how he's going to prove that they deserve to win this title tonight. And he's the one that takes it up for the juniors. Where Exoso, you don't expect his name to be there just because of his role that he plays on the team. But some can argue, yes, he's on Akron, so he's going to have his name on this list. However, he has definitely shown himself to be here on this list just because of the role he plays, and the KD at a 2.61 shows why he deserves to be second on this list.
He also has the highest survival rating out of all the juniors with a 0.58.
That's insane. That's
Surviving over
insane.
half the rounds, I mean, incredible. Incredible to see. I think consistency is the main point I want to hit on here as well. We have Lightning Blade on this list as well. We last week got to watch MSU versus Northwood. That match was awesome. Completely great to watch. I had a blast seeing all of that. And Lightning Blade was definitely the player to watch that night. He left a major impact with a 1.74 KD on the whole season, 1.24 kills per round. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I'd say the only weak side about Lightning Blade that lowers him a little bit on this list of juniors was that survival rating at a 0.29.
Yeah, the survival rating was not quite there what we wanted to see, but he did pick up a lot of different categories in that game in this season, which definitely shows why he's on this list. But I also want to talk about Sly and Fully
Mm-hmm.
Hectic. We didn't talk about them too much, but they deserve it. Because if we look at Sly, 251 kills. So he was right up there. He was second for the juniors to
Yeah,
make this list. However, we have to appreciate the fact that he's maybe on the lower side because of that 0.44 and that survival rating, but in terms of his KD, he had a 1.8. So there's kind of just something going on there where he can figure it out, and maybe that extra little bump will get him from fourth to second to third to, or first, maybe next year as a senior.
definitely. Keep an eye out for that. But speaking of our seniors, let us take a look at those players who are nearing the end of their college tenure, going away, maybe trying to become a graduate student. Who knows? Let's take a look at the seniors, the top 5 players.
This one, I have some mixed emotions about this one. I think this one for a list is expected, but also some names where you may not have thought that they should have been in this conversation. And I'm curious to get your take on that one, Chippy.
hmm Yeah, I was kind of shocked. We were talking about this before the stream had started. We were taking a look at all these numbers. I thank you for getting the sheet set up so we could see a little bit more of a deeper look on each of the statistics. I did not expect Pains or Host Malone. I thought, Host Malone had a great season, 259 total kills with 1.61 KD. He got a 1.11 kills per round. I mean, he did a great job overall. And I expected some of the Akron players to be in this position higher up. But last year, I want to make a quick note of this. Z Martin Reserve were definitely the top 2 players as juniors last season as well. And look at them. They're back. Consistency, JD. I think that's the biggest part of it all. Payne's being a new player coming out of nowhere. We got to watch Marion earlier this season. He's crazy. 296 total kills, 1.76 KD, 1.20 KPR, and a .32 survival rating. I mean, absolutely dominant on the kill side. Knew how to get it done when he needed to, and played a lot, and I mean a lot of rounds.
He played a lot of rounds. I'd like to also point out that Pains is the kill leader at 296. So he is number one in that category, which
Wait, is he?
definitely shows why. Yep, that absolutely shows why he deserves to be on this list.
Was he tied with Emma? I'm
I
sorry. Was
believe
that a
so.
funny? Okay, that's crazy. Anyways, almost 300 total kills on the season for both of those players. Specifically, at Payne's being a senior, though, that's got to feel like an accomplishment. On your way out, you're making a statement, letting people know that you were here to play from the start to the end. Absolutely wonderful to see. But yeah, those are my 2 surprise players on the list. What else do you got from this?
I definitely think I agree with 100% what you're saying. I think Host has been a very dominant player for years in this league. But the fact that we're finally seeing him on this list shows that he made some improvement to jump onto this list. He hasn't quite been on it in the past. He has barely missed the cut, but now he was able to do that his senior year, which if I was Host Malone's in this position, I'd feel really good because even if you don't go to grad school and keep playing, you know that you at least finally made this list and you can say, yeah, I did that and I accomplished it for my team.
Definitely. Big shout out to the seniors. You guys are a big reason why we do this. We love to send you guys off with a warm welcome and a great farewell after an amazing season. We'll see Jet later tonight in a grand final, but we want to take a highlight at the graduate students this season, the top 5 players who are in grad school and getting it done.
This one hits very close to the heart for me being a graduate student myself. Obviously, I didn't make the list, but there's a lot better players. And Toucan, obviously, we got to toot his horn on this one. He's great, right? Obviously, it's a shame that he went out so early in the bracket against Iowa. What Iowa got into the grand finals. So if they win, you can say you lost to him, which is a bump
Right.
for him. But Toucan obviously deserved to play to be on this list. He absolutely fragged out. He was a great in his role. And again, a lot of these names is people who you expect. We got the newcomer Ghostly, who's on this list, who just joined this season, and he's already making this top 5 list, which just shows the dominant that team has had this year. But some surprising ones is the SLU players, which I thought was really interesting because normally you don't hear too much about them each season. But the fact that you have 2 of their players on here shows that they were making an impact for their team, which is something that as a graduate student you'd really want to feel appreciated for.
Yeah. You can leave an impact on and off the server in any way that you can. These guys got the most stress, in my opinion. I don't know how they can play as a graduate student. They are just crazy making time in their schedule. Kudos to them. I also want to highlight that all the KDs for the graduate students were zero point 0.4, separated by zero point 0.4. So they were all consistent. Also to mention, all of their KPRs were under 1. So they were doing their best across the whole board instead of just focusing on kills and getting that KD up.
And to your point on that one, with the KPR all being under 1, I think at that point, at least for the graduates, they're looking to get some of these freshman players, these sophomores, that extra boost. They're playing the mentor. And by them playing the mentor, they're playing that experience that they have. And the fact that they're still showing up here shows that it's working for them and it's helping their team because their team wouldn't be here at this point on this list if they didn't have some type of impact with it.
Yeah. A big shout out to the graduates. I hope you guys all enjoy a career that is fun and well deserving of the time you spent in college. Now, with all the players per grade, at least, out of the way, let's talk a little bit more about each player who was the best in their division. This is where things get a little more mixed up, and you might notice that some of those players we saw at the top of their list for their grades are going to be a little lower. So first, let's take a look at Division One.
Yeah, this one, clear as day. The top four teams, obviously, they're going to be here. Some of the names we even talked about with the Exalsa taking number one clearly deserved it. 62 SPR, second place at 54. So he made a very big impact compared to some of these other players. By that specific role, his KD, again, outstanding. And again, he played a role where he wasn't going for the kills. So he was winning his gunfights and playing his role, and that worked in his favor. Now, I'm also very curious to see how this works out because you have the newcomer on the team, Plexios, who's also on this list, brand new to their team as of this season. And he's already making a statement in this league. But four out of these five are on the list for tonight's grand final, which starts in just a few hours.
It's
It's very
crazy.
curious to see how these few teams are going to be playing with some of these star players.
Yeah, I think Whirl from .icu, one of the players to watch as well for tonight. We saw him in top five clips as well earlier today. If you guys saw that, big shout out to Cypher. I know he's in the chat and he'll be helping us observe a fun little staff match coming up soon. But just
Feeling it.
crazy type of play we're going to see from Whirl. I think all the ISU players are going to try and step up in a big way tonight, make some crazy plays. We might see some goofy things too. Just trying to make a bold play. Want to win a round? You got to do it any way you can.
I'm
Uh,
here for it. I'm here for it.
I am too. I want to also mention we did predictions at the start of the semester. At Columbia College, in my opinion, stayed consistent. I think mine was the best out of everyone. Um,
Whoa.
so
Whoa. Whoa. Hey,
it's
can we be
it's
saying
neither here nor
this?
there. It's neither here nor there.
Whoa.
I think my
All right.
prediction was the best. I so anyways, the big
Fair
shout
enough.
out to the Division One players. Absolutely well done this season. We'll see four of those players tonight in their grand final. Let's take a look at Division Two, JD, and see who the best players were.
This does not shock me at all. We already glazed Z Martin Reserve a lot from their roles and their how they're upgrading each year. They obviously are number one. They prove it on the SPR rating. Their KDs are also ridiculously high. Something else I wanted to kind of point on here was the fact that save players from Kansas and you have Kentucky on here as well, which teams you didn't really quite think were going to be on this list, just on based on how their seasons kind of turned out. But the fact that they made this list showed that these were some key players for their teams, helping them get the win, and that's kind of the just the avenue we're talking about. Is where they may not be going for the kills, but they're contributing to their team, and we take that into effect with our siege player ratings. So the fact that they were here, and then you also have Frosty, who just returned back this season for the Platteville team shows that they were making a statement.
Yeah, I definitely want to highlight the same thing. Did not expect Kansas, Kentucky, or UWPL on this list at all. Taking a look from the top five players per grade, I was like, okay, cool. We're probably gonna have a little bit of a mix-up when it comes later on per division. We'll see some players consistently across these lists. But Z Martin Reserve definitely are in those top spots. They work hard. I've played against them for a while as well. I know what it's like, playing against the best.
Yeah.
And those guys they're gas. All right. They bang when they need to. So big shout out to those guys. A huge shout out to safe players Q and Frosty for picking it up this season and making themselves known in their division. And to watch out for next time. Now, let's take a look at Division 3 and see who those players were that stepped up. And now this one might give us a little bit of a laugh.
Yeah, this one's gonna hurt. This one's gonna hurt a little bit, just because we know that Marquette was really strong again, that they fell to Iowa, but just shows you the impact that these players have had. And just
I can't
looking
believe
at
they
this
got upset.
immediately is the SPR. The difference between them was all within one
It's crazy.
SPR,
It's crazy.
which shows the level of skill these players had. You also see Tanks on here again, just the name, the fact that he's here, the freshman player, the rookie, making his top five in his division shows the worth. You also have, I'm gonna say it, he's not gonna like it, My Tech from Lindenwood on here as well.
Isn't it meat?
It is, but it's My Tech now. Quote it from the director, it's My Tech now. But he's also on this list. But it's just the fact that some of these names are on here, but so dominantly by Marquette, just kind of just shows the level of impact they had this season.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think out of all the divisions I streamed this entire season, JD, Division 3 was my favorite. The Marquette games were gas. The UND game was gas. We did 2 Lindenwood games. They were gas. I mean, absolutely fun to watch. Lindenwood gave us a 3 map series each time they were on stream, I believe. I mean, you can't make it up.
Yeah,
These teams worked hard. They did their best every single time. Gotta give them credit where credit's due. Absolutely awesome season.
absolutely.
With that in mind, D3, we move to D4, and you'll see that once again, we see a lot of familiar names with the people
A
who
lot
have
of
done the best.
familiar names. Now this
Um,
one is a little bit funny. This one we can argue between the D3 and 4 bracket that this division owns Division 3. I said it. It's proof though that a lot of the Division 4 teams were playing out of their mind in this bracket. But again, a lot of these very familiar names, Watt, Pilot, Fully Hectic, Little Fuzi Vert, and Wagon all are on this list. And we saw their names in the past in different varieties, but they're all here again. And look at again, fourth, number 2 through 5, all within one SPR from each other. That would have made a difference. And then you just have Watt out and nowhere's no man's land at 63 SPR, just absolutely killing it for his team this year.
Statistically, for their grand final tonight, there's obviously a favorite. Watt, Pilot, and Little Fuzi Vert are looking to make a statement. They're looking to get a title, and they're going to do it in stride. Maybe, depending on the stats. But who knows? GVSU might have something coming out of nowhere.
They might have a trick up their sleeve or two. We'll have to find out from their point of view later on.
True. I actually played a LAN match against GVSU a long time ago. I think Ducku was on that team at the time. But kudos to them. I've watched their team grow since playing in them against them on a LAN, and it's been a lot of fun to see that growth. So I'm very happy to see them in Midwest R6 and to see that growth continuously. I'm sorry. Let's move on to D5 and take a look at the next players.
This one hurts me because my team was in this division, but they all deserve to be here playing against every single one of them. Obviously, we have some names that are in for our grand final tonight, some that are going for third place. Jay Razor's one of them, 63. He's doing all the work for his team. We've talked about him every time he's on the stream, outside of the stream as well, where he's the one carrying his team, the leading the team, and he deserves to be number one in my opinion. And then you have Lightning Blade and Emma, also some big names for their teams, battling for third place tonight as well. So they are going to be very close, in my opinion, for players to watch in that game. We're not going to see it tonight on stream, but these are some big names to watch. Ocean and Mr. Epic, again, we talked about some of these names as well. They're on this list. They deserve to be on this list. They're getting recognized for their work. And again, we're going to see some of that action here tonight.
I would also like to highlight, JD, Division 5 is the only division with one player from each team. There is no repeat players from similar teams or the same team on Division 5 who were the top 5 for the division. So Division 5 had a lot of standouts from each team.
They had a lot of standouts. It wasn't one consistent team where we had in the last two. A lot of different players had a lot of different standout moments, and it shows right here. I mean, the fact that the minimum fifth place has a 1.56 KD showcases just the pure strength that a lot of these players had and that they were representing for their teams.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see Jay Razor versus Mr. Epic tonight. That is going to be great. And that match is going to kick us off at 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you're here watching the award show, stick around because that game's coming up soon and that one will be heat.
Coming up.
Now let's take a look at Division 6 and see who on the bottom half were picking it up for their teams, learning to improve and kind of get their time under the belt.
I'm gonna leave this one to you, Chippy. What do you think first reaction to this lineup of names?
Host Malone was rubbed. I'm kidding. Host Malone, first one I look at, he looks like an outlier, right? You have Kettering just sitting there in the bottom half, their academy team, stepping it up. 1.59 KD for both Spongloid and Infamous. I mean, you can't make that up. That's crazy. They must have played the exact same shared keyboards. I'm actually looking at the stats. They both Infamous had one more kill than Spongloid this season. So Spongeloid. I'm sorry, I just realized what I was saying. It wouldn't anyways, it wouldn't be an award show without a blooper. So but yeah, I think Lodi was absolutely dominant this season. He is the one player I believe with the one of the highest SBRs this season.
He's
I can't
up
remember
there.
who had the
He's up
highest
there.
SBR, but he had one of the highest who played a lot of rounds. He played 231 total rounds this season. And with a 64 SBR with that many rounds, that's consistency. And I'm a big fan of consistency because if you're not playing well, you're not going to play consistent. And you just kind of downfall, you start spiraling. But that's the first big thing I kind of noticed. We got Rockford Regent sticking in here and Kettering Academy just letting them know that, hey, maybe we belong up a division. Maybe we need a little bit more time and
I
put us
don't
up
know
against
if
some
I'd
bigger
go
dogs.
that far. I don't know if I'd go that far. Just something I kind of took from this one is you have the Kettering names on here, which the fact that their stats are almost identical is hilarious in my mind. But
Mm-hmm.
our problem that I see is that this team, I don't know if they're ready to move up a division yet, just because they lost to the Cinderella team of Culver Stockton, which
Oh yeah,
kind of just
I
shows
forgot
either
about that.
they're not in the right division or Kettering has something that they need to keep figuring out. Either way, the fact that they had two of these players on this list, almost identical, shows that their system at that school is working. And then host, I agree. He got robbed. He got robbed. He definitely got robbed. He was the guy for his team. But Rockford, they were the dominant ones. And unfortunately, their season came to an end to Louisville that we'll see tonight. But the fact that they have two guys both up on number one and number two for their division shows that they were some key players.
Yeah. Maybe host plants the bomb one time for his team and that SBR rating jumps. Who knows? Anyways, let's take a look at Division 7. And I mean, wow. Right off the bat.
Yeah, this one, I can believe it. Ottenbein has been playing insane this season. Brand new to the league, they definitely made a statement. Unfortunately, they lost to WSUT in the playoffs. They had a chance to, which honestly they could have been the ones playing tonight for third instead of them. But the fact that they were still here, taking 3 out of the 5 slots, showcases just their talent. And we've seen some of these names on some of these lists from the previous classes. Some of these very
Mm-hmm.
familiar names, especially seeing Payne's on here as well, getting second. I'm surprised he's not first, but the fact that you have someone with a 62 with a 2.32, yeah, he's in a world of his own over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, Payne's just also getting on that list. We're seeing a lot of these teams who are new or maybe need some more time in the league or time to improve their teams overall. I'd love to see more from them. I don't think, in my opinion, stream side, I don't think I streamed enough of these teams. I don't think I took enough time to really focus on them. And that's not bad. I wish I spent more time taking a look at these teams. I wish we could see how Otterbein was really getting things done.
Hey,
So
they
big shout
balled
out to them.
out. They
They
balled
really
out.
did. They really did.
Definitely
So
a team to keep an eye on, though, for next year. Seeing
yeah,
them kind of just keep progressing forward, getting their names, if they're going to stay a lot more consistent, if they keep moving up in the divisions.
yeah. with that in mind, I think we've glazed the players enough. What do you think, JD? We talked about them quite a bit.
I think that some of the players got enough, but some others really do deserve the. I think
Yeah,
that some players do deserve the recognition, and I think this is a great opportunity. But I do agree, we got to keep moving on. We got a lot of
agree.
other great things to talk about here.
Definitely. So, getting away from the players, let's talk a little bit more about the game in general and see what maps truly were played the most or banned the most in any case. But first, the most played maps competitively this season. I may have teased it a little bit earlier on, but Night Haven, Clubhouse, and Chalet. I mentioned Night Haven and Clubhouse, the most played maps this season. I thought Night Haven was going to get to 100. I'm not going to lie. I was watching it in the stats sheet after it was on stream so many times. I was like, all right, maybe this map likes to be played a lot.
I'd agree. I think it actually went down this season. I do believe there was one of these maps, one of these three. I don't remember which one, but one of these did hit the triple digits last season. So it did go down for one of these. I do think it is Night Haven, just because it is a lot more played map. And I remember when it came out and teams wanted nothing to do with it,
Yeah.
which I thought was really interesting. But obviously, a new map came into the map pool. Nobody likes it, and it kind of shows. And we're going to talk about that later. But again, these three maps are the core staples that right now you can expect for a college game.
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned earlier, if we relate this to the operator bans, Mira is so prevalent on all three of these maps. I mean, Azami as well, such a crucial pick on all three of these maps. It makes sense if these were the most played maps this season that those ops are banned the most.
100%. I think we kind of figured this one out. Just the situational on these maps gets a lot of these ops banned. Mira definitely gets banned on this one. Valkyrie, I can see it as well for a lot of these maps as well, just because of the verticality that you have to play on them. So I agree with a lot of the map bans and how these are played, but I wish there was some different maps that we probably could have seen more towards the top played, but at least some of them don't make the bottom played.
Yeah. And speaking of those teams that didn't want to play those maps, who didn't really like them or the least played maps of the whole season. Let's take a look at the least played maps overall, the ones that
Yep.
teams did not want to play.
Yep. Yep. I said it. Lair, get that map out of here. I don't know what we were thinking bringing in Lair to the comp pool, but you could definitely tell that Nighthaven got the boost and Lair definitely got the short end of this one. No, not a lot of people played it. It's a big map for a lot of different reasons. I can understand why we don't play it, but one of them that really shocked me that's on this list for the least played is Bank. I've heard a lot of different things from players saying they just don't like Bank anymore, which is quite interesting to see that it is lower than a lot of people complain about Skyscraper, which I'm not going to say a lot about Skyscraper right now, but it's interesting that it didn't make this list and instead a staple map that's been around for years like Bank is on here.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm a fan of Consulate personally. I think that map is still a little new after the rework, and there's still a lot of things teams can learn on that map. But Bank feels a little more solved. And that's where I kind of agree with those teams where it's like it's kind of a bland pick. If you're picking it, you got something you already know about. Your team has already played that map enough. You know what's going on. Versus where every team is trying to do something different on Night Haven, or they're using the same old strats on Clubhouse and Chalet. Someone's roaming to the basement, and everyone mentions the SSG room all over again. And then we loop all the way back 2 years and we're like, hey, this strat still works. Anyways, those maps in comparison here, I don't really like Claire. Let's be real. I don't know why it's here either, JD.
I,
I don't I
I
don't
don't I don't I don't think anybody likes Lair, and I mean the fact that it only has 12 compared to the second one being 22 just shows that nobody cares for it. I've
Linden
seen
would
it
play
be
that map once this season.
I just say I've seen it be played. It's just a really big map, and I think that's just a big turnoff for a lot of teams right
Yeah,
now.
they
Is
just
they just
it
haven't solved it yet.
yeah, and those roam clears, all the time it takes to really set up plays and plants and all those takes it takes a lot of time to do it. I casted a match, I believe, with Lindenwood where we were watching them on layer. And that map had me confused. I won't lie. There was a lot going on, a lot of destructibility between verticality and horizontal takes, and it was absolute chaos. Came down to clutch, even at the end of the day, where it kind of shows that even though strats and everything like that didn't really matter, it came down to the players at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Lair is one of those maps where it is the key players, not the team performance, where they really just have to make that kind of an impact because of the size of that map.
Yeah, but with the maps out of the way, I think we've taken a little bit of that break from throwing the glaze at the teams. Let's go back to glazing those teams and let's
Oh
take a
boy.
look at the divisional standings across all the divisions this semester. Starting with the Division 1, JD, we're seeing at the top right off the bat Akron showing their might.
Yeah, this one's not a surprise. Akron, I don't know if they have ever lost a game in this league, which just shows the caliber that this team has. And I'm very curious to see if Iowa State is going to be able to do that tonight for the grand finals, which again start in just a couple hours. So make sure that you stay around for that. But they have the potential to do so. The fact that you have a lot of these teams, and I don't see anything really surprising on this list. I think once we get more towards 2, 3, 4, that's when we're going to start seeing a lot more of these. Okay, I didn't expect these teams to be here, but I'm not surprised with this one because Akron so dominant right now. Iowa State, a previous CR6 mentioned premier team, and then you have Columbia College working their way up in this league for the first time, still going 6-2, which is fantastic. But I would have liked to have seen a little bit more from maybe Purdue that was in the grand finals last year, where they're sitting now down at 4-4 instead of 6-1 last season.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really unfortunate to see some of these bottom teams start to struggle a bit.
Yeah, my biggest predictions from this season was Akron, Columbia, and Purdue. I think Purdue took a step back this season as well. They had a lot of things they were struggling with, trying to work through. It seemed like in a lot of their games, and to give them credit, they're still Division One. They did an amazing job, as well as last season. They did an amazing job. So to give credit where credit's due, there are some times where you're not expected for a scenario. Even the round diffs, -11 to +7 for Ohio State Scarlet, right? The map counts as well. Purdue won more maps than Ohio State did, but they just couldn't get the rounds where they needed to the most.
I think that just comes with just who's on your roster. Who are those clutch players? We didn't really see many Purdue names on any of our lists. So it just
Yeah,
shows that they're doing some type of restructure right now, which can be a good or bad thing, but I definitely expect them to stay up in Division 1 next season. It's just how is it going to be looking for them and how are they going to be able to get over that hump to start getting these rounders back into the positives.
yeah. But enough of Division One. We know who the strongest was there. Let's take a look at Division Two and see how this kind of mixes up a little bit more.
Yeah, this one is the one that I think a lot of us predicted wrong. At the beginning of the season, a lot of us in the staff team for this league had to predict who we thought the top 3 teams were, and I'll tell you right now, I was the only one that had faith in Kentucky Blue to make it up on this list. Now I can say that they didn't play great, blah blah blah. They went 4-4, but however, they're still on this list and they're
Mm-hmm.
up here in this ranking where some of these teams where you would expect like Kettering, Varsity, Kansas, some of these teams that we've mentioned some of their names from are on the bottom half of their on the bottom half of their standing. So it's really curious just to see the point, but I think this one was a lot more balanced in terms of the division because you had 4 teams go 4-4. You had Muskegon being that outlier, the dominant players on their team reserve and Zmart carrying them up to where they are today. But again, the 2 through 4 in Madison, nobody talks about Madison. They used to be a really dominant
Mm-hmm.
team a couple of years ago, but the fact that they're going 4-4, they're fighting their way back, they're getting moved up in divisions, shows that I'm very curious to see what they do next year.
Yeah, and I think the record doesn't really show how all these teams competed against each other this season. To be honest with you, JD, each team 2 through 7 won 9 total maps. All of them, 9 total
Yeah,
maps. That just they were head to head. They were going back and forth all the time. Unless you're Muskingum, you won 16-2. You absolutely dominated plus 70 round diff in your division. They probably should have been moved up one division, to be honest here. But 4-4 record, 2 through 5 as well. I mean, you can see we're getting into negative round diff at third place in the division. That is crazy to see for a top four in their division.
It also just shows you how close they were. As you mentioned, the map count, how they all had those nines, right? It was a close division. Obviously, you have the outliers. One has to be pretty much up there. One has to, unfortunately, get
Hmm.
the bottom of the division. Nobody wants to be there. But again, it's still a really balanced division, which I'm very curious to see how the rest of them play out as we go into Division 3.
Yeah, even swinging it over to Division 3, Marquette, your top dogs, and we can see that. In my opinion, these top four here did an amazing job. They definitely showed that they were the best teams in the division, and having Michigan kind of round out there with a 12-10 map count, -5 round diff, being very close to the Red Tail Esports with a -3 round diff, shows a little bit more of how the margin across these teams was a lot closer for this division.
I think it's a lot closer as well than a lot of people probably thought it was going to be. Obviously, you have Marquette that was up there at the plus 58, but you also had teams like SLU and UND kind of right there with them, where you
Hmm.
don't really talk about them too much. In terms of how we were talking about some of these top players earlier, we didn't really highlight that SLU was a 6-2 team. So we just it's a very interesting division. A lot of these names made it deep into their respective bracket, but a lot of these teams, especially Redtail, first time in their league, they made top four. Lindenwood also made it pretty far. So did Michigan, also making top four. It's a lot of these teams where you don't quite expect them to be in the conversation, but they made sure that they were. And I think that's just something to definitely know.
Yeah, a big shout out to Marquette. They were the team to beat, and someone decided to come up and do it. It happens. You don't expect that kind of stuff to really pan out that way. But at the end of the day, it's that Midwest madness that we're talking about. How it happens in the bracket. People show up in playoff form. That's what they're going to do. Let's move on now to Division 4. Take a look at these teams.
This one is a fun one, not just because of some of their standings, but the impact that they had in the playoffs. And as you mentioned, the Midwest madness that we have in playoffs really shows because you could have a team, and a great example is Nebraska here, who went 3-4, -10, didn't have more wins on a map count, and yet they still had a Cinderella run of themselves where they were making it to the Elite Eight, almost making it to the top four, where it's you don't expect some of these teams to make an impact, but they were. You also had BVU, a team that went 1-6 last season, now at 6-2. They changed something around where it was working in their favor. And then you have GVSU, where nobody thought they were going to make the grand finals. They're
Mm-hmm.
here. They're playing
Yeah,
tonight against Iowa Esports. And again, 8-0, 6-2. You'd expect them to probably be there, but nobody expected GVSU to win their side of the bracket to get to this point. But at 15-5 for a map count, why would you doubt them at that point? But that is up to the people who made the brackets for their predictions, but I definitely think that they deserve to be in that conversation.
definitely. I think this division was one that could have shaken up a lot differently as well. You give Illinois Blue a little bit more time, maybe, to practice or have time to get something done. And I think that's something that doesn't get enough credit for college players. We don't have a lot of time to get this stuff done. I'll be real with you guys. I was prepping streams like Tuesday, Wednesday nights, like 2 days before the games. And that's just due to the crazy schedules we have as students. Someone may be working part time on the side while also competing. Those are all things that are kind of unaccounted for each of these teams. And I think you got to give credit to the teams who are at the top, who have those graduate students, who have those seniors, right? They have so much going on in their plate to be able to get stuff done like this is incredible. And I mean, shout out to Muskingum earlier on. Again, they have players who are seniors, right? And they are getting it done.
And I think that you made a great point. I mean, the fact that we see a lot of these names in these top four teams at some point in our previous conversations
Hmm.
showcases that they're spending the time. As a student, we don't have that much, like you said. So the fact that some of these teams are still going plus 79, 8 and 0, 6 and 2, plus 50, they're doing something and they're dedicating themselves to the game, which could argue maybe they're spending a little too much time dedicated to the game than their academics. We don't know. However, shout out to them regardless that they're making it work because they are showing the results, and that's what we're highlighting here right now.
Hmm. So now we're going to move on to Division 5 and see that this one actually did not have an undefeated team.
This one hurts. This one hurts me because my name's on this one. But this one really was a clear cut who was gonna be there. And if we look at the Division 5 through 7 bracket, the teams that are in the final four are numbers 1 through 4 on this bracket. Spoiler alert, if anybody has not looked at the bracket, I'm sorry, I just spoiled it for you. But these are the four teams, and you can see why, right? Two 7-1 teams. Nobody went undefeated. Somebody eventually lost, which I think is great to see. Not that we don't like undefeated seasons; they're cool, but it shows that they're beatable. And I think that's just something that we need to highlight. But again, the 16-3, 16-4 map count was really something impressive. But I don't think we talk enough about some of these bottom teams. And I'm sorry,
Hmm.
I got to say it because I was down there. But it was a hard bracket. It was a hard division for some of these teams. Obviously, 1-7 for 3 teams. It's hard when these 4 teams are the final four, but they were still getting some
Yeah.
map wins. They were still getting the reps. I don't know if we'll see this team up here in this division next year. However, they did get reps against better teams that made it to the final four. So that's something that they should be proud of and that they got a great learning experience from.
Yeah. One team I want to highlight on this list is WSU Tech. They were reigning champs. And look at them. They're fifth on this division. That is not something you expect. And when they're in playoff form as well, they showed up, making the semifinals of their bracket, doing an amazing job overall, giving them credit. It is an amazing season, nonetheless, for these teams. And to see MSU, who finished third, and Louisville, who finished first, to be in that grand final. I mean, hey, Division 5 had the Gunners. They had the people who wanted it the most.
They absolutely won it. And I kind of want to go back to your point about WSU Tech,
Mm-hmm.
where they still had a positive season, right? Five
They
and
did,
three.
yeah.
It's not like they were bad, right? Obviously, they made a little bit of some roster changes for this season, which may have lost them a little bit. But yeah, they are defending champions. Obviously, they're not getting it this year. They're going for third place. However, just because you don't have a great regular season doesn't mean you're going to have a bad playoff season. And we can see that in some of these teams. Some that had the Cinderella runs, and WSUT Tech was one of those teams to stop them. So they have to have some kind of impact. And I think this division, although they're really dominant, they should deserve to be talked about. But we should also talk about some of these other divisions like Division 6, where I think there's going to be some surprises here as well.
Yeah, and even moving on over to Division 6, you see maybe a typo. Anyways, MST Green, their second team, we saw MST on the other side in Division 5 doing so well. Kirkwood Blue, Kansas Blue, you see these teams, right, who are doing an amazing job. Dakota State Varsity. And then you see Kettering Academy. We saw a lot of those players highlighted in the top 5, right? Kind of being a little everywhere in this division, I would say.
I definitely agree with that. I think the one team that we should talk about though is that Kirkwood Blue team. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
we highlighted a lot about 1 through 3, but we never talked about Kirkwood Blue, and the fact that they're still in the top 4 in this division kind of means that they were the forgotten team, but they also were dominant because this was their first season and they were still able to win their map count, still able to go positive in their round difference and end up in that neutral spot for their record. Now, something I'm very surprised about is that MST Green is down at 0-8. I don't think that one was supposed to happen. I think something happened with their team along the season. They definitely should have been more towards the 500 record to be in that middle conversation. So I'm curious to know what happened. Obviously, we don't have that answer, but a
Mm-hmm.
lot of these teams are quite surprising. You have CC Red Ravens, brand new again to the league. So just kind of seeing where they're going to end up, how they're playing. Curious to see what they're going to make for this season, off season change. But another one that shocked me is my old team, River Falls. down at 2-6. I know that they had a lot of different roster changes for this year, but it's still really surprising to see their level of caliber that they have end up at 2-6 in such a negative map count. I think that one is the more questionable one for me, along with MST Green.
Yeah. I definitely want to highlight Kirkwood Blue as well. I think that's the team that we didn't see enough. We streamed them and I was shocked. I was very happy to watch them. It was an amazing game. And they showed that they were a team when they were playing well, they can get it done. But they often had some inconsistency, which just kind of goes up and down. But it happens, right? You don't really expect those things to pan out that way. And I can't blame them for it either. Coming from my team, I used to compete in MWR6. I think I can you probably wouldn't remember, but I will. I don't. We were in a higher division to start. I stepped back into a coaching role and we went down lower, right? Those things just kind of happen. You have roster shakeups. You lose an IGL and you get a new one. Those things just change overall. So all in all, I think Division 6 have a lot of room to grow. And we're also highlighting some of their playoff records as well. What they did to get here, right? Or to when they were moving on, right? If we only saw their regular season stats and stuff like that on this divisional list, we wouldn't be able to highlight how they continued that success into the offseason.
I 100% agree. And I think that's just something that we have to all just consider for these standings. It's just how some of these teams ended up in the playoffs. And again, the conversation between regular season and playoffs is a completely different ballpark in this league because they know what's at stake. They know what they want to go for. And I think we're about to see that here in this final division where a lot of these teams stepped up when it mattered when nobody thought they could.
Yeah. And moving on to Division 7, the final division on our list in the award show segment. Otterbahn, right there at the top. And these are a bunch of teams who maybe have been new into the league this season. I'm happy to see them. This is an awesome list, to be honest with you. This one looked extremely competitive.
Yeah, I can't imagine how this one felt, but just looking at the standings, it could have been anybody's game. I think this is one of those brackets or one of these divisions where it's like, where could these teams end up in the future because they represented it so well. Obviously, you have number one, 7-2 plus 58, killed it on the map count. They were great. Again, they almost made it to where they could have been top four and were, but wasn't able to get. And I think that just comes down to team experience, what they're used to, what level are they used to playing against. But at teams like Marion, we saw them. They were great. They had Pains on their team. Great map count too. They were still positive. But you also have the team, and I gotta say it because they were great. They knocked my team out as well. Is number 5, Culver Stockton,
Mm.
right? Number 23 seed in the bracket, making it almost to top four,
Mm-hmm.
where they got knocked out by Northwood.
Cinderella
Nobody
story.
saw this coming. 4-5, -1, negative on the map count, and they were able to get it done, which just shows that maybe sometimes it's not about the regular season; it's how you perform in the playoffs. And I think that's just constantly what we keep stressing.
Yeah. The playoffs are where it matters the most, sadly. I don't mind wherever seeded that our team got placed in. We just went and we showed up. That's all we needed to do. We prepared. We knew who we were going to play. I can't tell you the amount of times where I'm like, oh, dang, I'm a lower seed, and back when Purdue had a really insane team, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. First round of the playoffs. We're playing Purdue. Cool. All right. And then I go next. But amazing stuff to see from these teams. And I'm very happy to highlight every single one in this list. It's been an amazing season for every single one of these teams. And I got to give them credit. You guys are what make this league even possible. A lot of us are students who are running this. We're all behind the scenes doing our best, and getting this running every single day is just truly a blessing to see all the work that gets put into it. I mean, I can't thank JD enough for even thinking about some of the award segments, right? A lot of this stuff doesn't happen without the support of all of us at the end of the day. And thank you to all of you at home for even being involved, because this stuff wouldn't happen without you.
I completely agree. This league doesn't happen without these teams and these players who want to play the game, who are willing to step up and play these teams, these games, the game that a lot of us have just come to love. And I think that at this point, right, it's not possible without you guys. And the fact that you're here, you're performing, you're playing the game, you're having a great time, and we can see it in the chat, in the Discord, on social media. We know you guys are having a great time, which is something we love to see because, as Chippy mentioned, we're volunteers. And the fact that you guys are having a great time helps us have a great time and the willingness and drive that we have to make it better for you every day.
Yeah, I love it. You know, this is one of my pride and joys. Streaming Siege has been, you know, so much fun. And I get to watch teams play every single day and just watch growth. I think that's one of the biggest things that I love to do every single day is to see the growth of the whole league, see how everything changes overall. I'm sure you guys like a little bit of the color change today. If you have not noticed it yet, we have a little bit of a champ stuff kind of going on with the theme today, right? Keep all that kind of stuff in mind because we're excited to continue into the future seasons and make everything look as best as we can. And to do that, we have to highlight the players and all the staff who go into that. And kind of coming up on our next segment here, we're looking at a staff showdown. We're trying to get some players into the lobby,
Oh
and
boy.
we have our match and tag team coming for a rematch. Not a rematch, more of a run it back against
They
some
they want they
staff.
want to be the two times. They want to be
They
the
want
two
to be two
times.
that the Mike wants
They
to be
want
the
to, they
two.
want the two times. That
Mike
Mike
wants to be the
wants to be.
two time.
But the fact that we're highlighting a show match just shows that we really do care about the staff and that the staff cares about you guys as the players, which is just something I think is about to be fun. And do we want to tell them what map we're going to, or do we want to leave it as a surprise?
We need more time to talk about it. They're still getting into the lobby and stuff like that. Yes, we could tell them we're going to Skyscraper.
I I don't
we
even
we
know how to
had
feel
our
about it.
I think what's really funny about it, to tell a story about it, we had our graphic designer, Cool Volcano. Shout out to him. If you've seen my profile picture in the Discord of a fish, now's the time I'll admit this to you, JD. It was a running bit. He gave me like 5 photos of a fish where it zooms in every single day. And it's just an edited photo. So I didn't catch an actual fish. I baited Kingfisher in our staff chats and stuff like that. Kind of picked on everyone for that, but I thought it was a funny meme. But regardless, Cool Volcano gave us 3 numbers and was like, "Hey, just pick one." And everyone is like, "Yeah, can we just not do Skyscraper?" And he's like, "You picked 3. That's Skyscraper." We're like, "Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?"
it was I believe to be the most unfortunate situation for these players because nobody
Not a
wanted
single
this.
one of them wanted to play it. Not
And
a
we
single one
are
of them.
going to Skyscraper, which means I'm gonna be honest, guys. I don't know any of the calls for that map, which I'm shocked that it's not the bottom three just because nobody plays it. But we're gonna be playing it in this staff show match.
We should have made them go to layer. We really should have made them go to layer. That would have
I'm
been a
gonna
ton, a
tell you
ton of fun
right
to
now.
watch.
I'm gonna say they're in that room or they're over there. That is the cause that you would get on the layer.
Yeah. I mean, if you see me kind of type in the background stuff like that, I'm sure you can actually hear my keyboard as well. That's awful.
Yeah,
Blame the
let's not do
production
that.
guy. I'm the production guy. Um, we're getting stuff set up in the background right now as well, so I'm doing typing here and there. But I kind of want your thoughts on this, JD. A long time ago in a placement match, there was a stream with WMU Broncos versus a team I can't remember at the time. But we won that. It was like a 7-3 map. Attack on Skyscraper is ruthless. That's all I wanted to say about that.
It's
It is just awful.
it's hard.
Attacking, it's, it's so
If you
bad.
have ever played Skyscraper, which I'm assuming most of you have, especially the ones that play this game in the staff match, have, it is hard. It is one of those maps where even the pro players struggle to attack on this map, which I'm really curious to see how they're going to decide who's on attack and defense first. But if I'm playing this game, I am hoping to God I am on defense first.
I definitely am. I hope they hit random on that. Because we didn't actually say who was gonna pick it. So I'm letting Zathor, shout out to Zathor, one of our match admins, kind of sort that out. I said, hey guys, I have an hour block since JD is only available for a certain time, since he has class after this award segment, funnily
I
enough.
know. I know.
Um, and we only have a certain amount of time. And I was like, guys, I'll give you an hour. All right, you got an hour before the live game, the grand final. Just make it work. Okay, you do whatever you want. Make it fun. I don't care. Best of one though. That's all I ask. And
It's a
Zathor's
best
just
of
like salute. Good
best of
luck.
one. We got you covered. We're gonna give you a great show, which they better because it's
I hope
skyscraper.
so. It's skyscraper. Um, Kind of thinking about it a lot. I I hope we see some rushes. If we have to balance it at all or call some funny little strats, you'll see Cypher typing what we say into the chat to force them to do stuff that we ask. Maybe pistols only, or you need a knife kill to win the round. If you don't get a knife kill, then you know, FF go next. That's a joke. But we're thinking of a bunch of funny things to do, and hopefully we can showcase those in tonight's little show match where we can have fun and just showcase our staff and let them have fun playing on stream for you. Um, I want to highlight the stats team specifically on this as well. The stats team put in so much work in the background, you guys. Um,
You
Matt
have
Mack
no
took
idea.
over leading that. You guys have no idea. All those graphics you saw, JD made them, and all that work was done by the stats team, though. That couldn't be possible without the stats team. We would not have known how to rank the top 5 players and get all that kind of stuff done. So big shout out to them. Um,
Absolutely.
I think they did the most work this season, in my opinion. I think my production staff also had kind of a lot. They didn't have a lot. They just had to show up for like 5 hour streams, but
They just had to show up and watch video games. I don't think that's too bad.
yeah, it's true. I did it for like 6 hours. Yeah, I think I had like six
Hey,
hour
hey,
days every
hey!
Thursday. This is the only
You
day
said you
I
enjoy the
did.
game. You
I
did say
did.
you enjoy the game.
There were some days where I was like fall asleep, but that was only when I had to work. Oh, this is a funny one. While we're still waiting for the game to get loaded up, I believe we are waiting for a couple people to load into the lobby. It looks like. Um,
Slacking.
I caught the flu. And I do infusions for Crohn's. Um, and I did my infusion right before I got the flu, and I have like side effects like fatigue and stuff like that. That was awful. That stream I did on Thursday, you should have seen how I looked. JD saw how I looked after the stream, and he was like, "Bro, I don't even know how you made it."
He was a
Like,
goner. He
I
was
I
a
was
goner.
flushed. My face was completely pale. I looked awful. It was awful, but I stuck it out at the end of the day for the stream. It was a ton of fun. My match admins, I want to talk about them as well. That they did an amazing job this whole season, getting everything together, holding up the back end when we needed it the most, making rulings when we needed to for the games, and organizing all your tickets out there in the league. Wouldn't be
I
possible
gotta
without the match admins. I mean,
I gotta also say shout out Myketh and Zathor for actually running Face It without issues
I
this
did
semester.
no issues.
That
Wait,
is
the
a
stat
big
sheet didn't
win.
have issues either, right? That was
What?
crazy. We didn't have any issues with the stat sheet, right? Right either.
Maybe that you don't know about. But regardless, shout out to them though. They definitely stepped up this semester. They handled a lot of tickets. They try their best. Remember, we're all volunteers. So just make sure that you stay calm about that if we're a little bit behind. But we do appreciate you guys opening the tickets for us. That is a big one. So we can help you. However, I also have to give another shout out to my friend Dupless, who has definitely requested a few times for me to shout him out and say hi. I've gotten a lot of R6 clip videos from him. I'm shouting him out. I've seen them. They're hilarious. They're great. So shout out to you. Wish you were here this season. But I gotta also just say it's Chippy's fault. That's all I'm gonna say.
Why is it my
It's
fault?
it's Chippy's fault. All right.
What did I do this time? What did I do this time?
I don't know. It's just your fault.
Sorry. I,
It's just
I
your
I'm
fault.
getting everything stream pulled up for the game. We're slowly getting there. But yeah, I mean, I want to give more shout outs. I think there are so many people to talk about. I mean, it's so hard to really cherish every single person in the whole league. In our staff chat, I looked over while we were sitting here, and Ace mentioned no staff highlights, just a staff match. This is the staff highlight. I'm talking about the teams, all the people who were involved. Um, you know, all the trial staff that stepped up this season as well. people coming in and not being involved before with streams, they had an opportunity to step up and get involved. And that's what I love the most about it. And getting those people time and experience is one way we as a league continue to grow. If I don't have these people stepping forward and doing something out of their comfort zone, they won't know maybe that little bit of experience that can benefit them in the future, right? So,
This league is
all in
all
all, I love it.
about experience. Gain so much from this. Trust me, I know you gain a lot of experience, and I'm sure a lot of the staff members, if they're in the chat right now, will tell you the exact same thing. Actually, they'll probably say no just because I said that, but they actually did learn a lot. I'm hoping, but it's awesome just to see. It definitely worth. If you guys want to, we're always looking for people. Check it out sometime. All right, no more plugs. I'm sorry, Chippy. Sorry, Chippy.
No,
No more
I
plugs.
honestly,
No more
we're buy. We
plugs.
have to buy. We have to buy 8 minutes of time.
Minutes of time.
So, yeah, hey
Uh,
guys, if you are not following the stream already, you need to
yes.
follow. JD and I are donating our own personal funds to donations. I don't know what charity JD said. I honestly forgot what that was, but JD could tell us more about it.
Yeah, so we're doing a fun little thing this month where every new follow is $1 donated to a charity. Now, the charity of choice will be very much dependent on just the community's vote, where we want it to be sent to. It's not going to your wallets. Thank you for asking, community. We saw a couple of those responses where we got asked, but it's going to a charity. So just remember to hit the follow button, and we're gonna have to pay for it. So if you want to see Chippy and I go broke in some capacity, this is the time to do so. And
Do
just
it.
remember as well, we're doing something where if somebody gets an ace on stream, we're paying $5 for every one of those kills that they get on that
I think
ace.
we've only had one ace, by the way,
There's
this
been a
whole
few. No,
playoff.
there's
Was
definitely
there?
been a
Okay.
few. There's
I've
been a
only seen
few.
one. So that's $15 right there, right? And I'm gonna include that for the staff match, okay, JD? JD, I'm so sorry. I hear an echo in my ears.
Uh,
Um,
nobody
if there's an
passes
ace in the staff match,
nobody pass that message off to the staff that are in this thing.
they're
Please
probably
don't.
watching. They're probably watching. It doesn't
That's
matter.
true. That's true. Yep, you're right.
But yeah, we're donating to a great cause, you guys. I mean, I care about every single piece of this. I want to give my money back to them. This means so much to me. I've done charity streams in the past where we do donations to children's hospitals. You know, that kind of stuff is very important to me as someone who was once in a hospital, a sick kid in a hospital, right? Donating to those hospitals was the most important thing, and sending that money back out to people who need it more is truly a blessing. And I'm glad we have the opportunity to be able to do that for everyone. Sorry, the echo in my ears is crazy right now, but I know they can't
He's
hear it,
got
but
the
only I
echo.
can.
He's got the echo.
I
Chippy. No.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
can hear like double of
it's for a
everyone's
great
voices. It's
cause
crazy.
though. It's for a great cause. Obviously, right, we're still picking out which one we want to go to, but we've done it in the league for in the past where we've worked with Feeding America and Canines for Warriors. So definitely make sure that you just get involved with this because it is for a good cause, and the fact that we get to do this for college is awesome. Right? Normally you see a lot of just the professionals doing it. We're here trying to make a difference. Chippy, I
Well,
also have to ask you a question.
okay, I'm ready.
If we have to balance out the staff match, what is your go-to idea? I'm curious to see what you have.
I My go-to idea, I think, is always pistols only. I think that's very funny. Um, but one that I had thought about for a while was that one team needs to get a sledge kill. A sledgehammer kill needs to happen. That is the one must. If we need to handicap a team at all, forcing them to get a sledgehammer kill. That's it. Like, you got to go in, get the sledgehammer kill. If you don't, washed. You know,
Fair.
Chalk it
That's
up.
fair.
You want the 2-time, you can't have it. Can't run at them with a blitz or a Monty. Can't have it. So I think that's the one I'm looking forward to the most. JD, what did you have any kind of unique ideas for this show match as well?
I was gonna say, were you gonna ask me?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, my idea was just simply red light, green light at that point. It's up to the observer. So
I'm sorry. That's a crazy idea.
if you're ahead, you have to stop and let them have a chance. It's almost like what we saw at SI, where they actually played the red light, green light game. And if you moved, you die. It's as simple as that. So I think if you want a balancing way, that's the way to go. Whether the teams uphold that or not is up to them. But I'm
That is
very curious
true.
to see if they would do that.
We're just like voices in the background, kind of like letting them know, hey, you got to do this. If not, shame.
I'm just
That's it.
waiting for the
Just shame.
observer to just hear a green light, red light, and has to quickly type it into the chat.
That is true. It's like Cypher let us know there's like a few seconds of a delay, and even then, like the few seconds is it's gonna be so funny on our side. But it's all about a good time. I at the end of the day, this isn't for some crazy prize. They're gonna have bragging rights about something if someone gets an ace,
Oh,
right?
it's gonna go all into the summer. You better believe it.
You're right.
They're
Actually, they
going to
will. They
hold
will
this
talk it
bragging
up the
right
whole
game
time.
to, to next fall when they have to probably do it again.
Me forcing them. But yeah, so we're getting closer to this staff match here in a moment. I'm actually going to run us to a break while I figure out what's happening in this game. So I thank you all for listening in on our awards show. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at the staff showdown. We'll be right back. All right, it's going to show the teams for later today. right. I held my hand up like I was counting down in the booth. Welcome back for the break, everyone. I hope you are excited for the staff match that's coming up. We had to go take a little break to make fun of Miketh for crashing and
Absolutely.
for one of the players not loading in. So we had to bully them. We didn't actually do that. But we're here to make fun of them now. So Mike, come on, man. Bad PC.
Ubisoft,
Bad build.
work. Soft work.
Meech,
Might get do better.
optimize shaders faster. Come on, guys.
I don't know who Meech is. He's my tech in my book.
We got a great game coming up. I'm running out of bits, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be completely a buck. I've run out of bits. All the ones that I had prepared are gone. I told JD, I was like, we're coming back from the break. We're gonna make fun of everyone.
Yes.
And then we're gonna
we'll still do
more
that.
shout outs until it starts.
We'll still do that.
Oh, we are. Oh, trust
Yeah,
me.
we'll trust
flame
us.
anyone we
We'll
see.
still flame anybody who does anything in the game. But again, I gotta give the shout out to Dupless again because apparently he missed it. So he's very lucky that he gets a second one.
Oh, I forgot.
And if he misses this one again, I want everybody to just go into our Discord, at him, and say, "Nice try, buddy." I think he's
NT.
gotta get this. He's gotta get this
Come on.
message.
NT in chat.
NT.
NT.
If he misses it again,
Can't believe they washed
that's
it.
too bad for him. You know.
Whenever anyone has bad aim, I just need the spam bad aim in the chat.
Bad
All right,
aim.
let everyone know. Hey, that you messed up. We're on a 3-minute delay, by the way, still, just because we're running this show from start to finish. Once the show match is over, we're getting straight into the next game, right? So the 3-minute delay is still there. I'll do my best to interact with the chat when I can, and we'll see where we go from there.
I'd also like to say we were watching the comments in the intermission. You guys have a lot of great ideas for some of these rounds. If we have time, I'm a little bit on a time crunch here because I do have class.
He does have
but
class.
If we do have the opportunity to do some of them, you guys had some good ones.
Okay, just started, JD. We're going to go in a second.
Time to talk about
Zathor,
Skyscraper.
why are we not starting? Zathor is not starting the game.
Let's
so
talk
funny.
about Skyscraper.
All right, we're going in.
Oh, look at those beautiful logos.
Match and Tech and more with the staff and co tonight. They are going up against each other. And a best of one, little fun. Aurora, first band.
That was not one that we predicted because she is a new op. Don't say that we don't know what we're talking about, people. She is a new op. She was not here long enough to get it. All right? Now, this one, I'm expecting Jackal. What about you? What do you think?
If it's Jackal, I'll lose my mind. Fuse.
All right, so we're trolling.
Not want any verticality. Okay,
so we're trolling. All right, so we're trolling.
Okay, all right.
Shoot, I'm gonna go with the Cav pick then. Why not?
No, Capcam.
Capcam? Sure. All right, that's a good one.
Capcam for sure, because they actually don't want to run into those. They want to sprint in, right?
Oh,
there's no way.
Here we go. Okay, so that wasn't a troll one.
That one I didn't expect at all.
Here's the troll one.
Clash?
What's taking him so long? Here's the troll one.
What's taking? He's like backseating.
Okay, all right.
Doc.
Okay.
I love that. Great bands here. You know the Fuse and Aurora. You see, great bands.
Interesting.
Doc.
Okay, I would say you don't want to talk about Fuse.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
That's fair.
If you played Fuse on Skyscraper, you were trolling. So, chat, the first challenge. Follow MWR6. All right. Get the money out there. Everyone in the game, make sure they follow. That way, we can get the money donated to a good cause.
Doing a knife fight? Hold on.
Of all my money. Hey, I see that.
Hold on. We doing a knife fight?
It's true. They could start with a nomad knife fight. They could do that. That would be funny.
They do have a nomad. It is possible. It is
Matt
possible.
Max doing his job, is doing his part. I like to see that. Team got to win around somehow.
10 seconds left.
And I'm getting told that Piercing is asking if he got an award for sexiest caster, and the answer to that is no. Because he showed the grippers. That is a no-go in my book.
I thought when he pulled out the shotgun, he was just gonna blast him. I was like, huh?
Waiting for it.
Oh!
Oh.
Matt Mack with the first knife. Full blind, can't see anything. They're going in there. Meech picks up a knife himself on the Disciple. It's utter chaos outside. Look for another knife. Matt Mack finds a double traded by Meech. Oh my goodness. It's back and forth. Clipped and Presto going back and forth as well. The shield goes down by Wolf. It's a 1v1. A shield versus a recruit. Now, who's your money on? Throwing the nitro at him.
He should have blown it up. In my opinion, he definitely should have blown it up. But I respect the knife. I respect it.
What? Was he even close to him?
This one I got no answers for.
That's crazy. Not what I expected.
I will say, I don't know if Micah, sorry, not Micah. I don't know if Matt knifed Zathor before the Nomad went off, because nobody else was doing it. So I'm wondering if he took a early one, and it looks like they might have, because they're saying L Matt for doing that. I'm wondering if he did it too early.
Maybe.
Regardless,
Work in the background.
they're actually doing an actual setup now. What we're gonna make it very important to say that this map, I don't think anybody likes, but as we talked about earlier, Match Integrity is the one that starts an attack, which they do seem like they are the better team in terms of just stat wise. So it's going to be interesting to see how they can do on attack, because of how much we praise that you want to start on defense in this map. And we've mentioned it a lot, and we've seen it in series. So it's curious to see how they're going to be able to do to start this one.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb. Attackers' objective is to defuse the bomb.
They are playing Blackbeard, which is something that we talked about with the 38%. I believe that was the number percent banned in all the matches this season, which we get to see him get played, which doesn't really happen too often, especially on stream. So let's take this while we can. But I'm a little concerned that with the Blackbeard, he's not going to play it for the end. He's not going to be playing it for the roam clear. He's going to be playing it as an entry, and he might get too aggressive.
The Blackbeard is doing the entry. He just runs in the shotgun. Ella's stunned. Disorients him a little bit. Stuck in the corner. Ella has no idea where Micah has gone. And I was about to make a joke. I was going to say, hey, you know, it's Micah on the Blackbeard. It's probably washed. But look at Micah. Gets a double kill. Looking for more. Finds another. He actually didn't even get the kill earlier on the other guy who was outside in the window. But coming through, Micah gets the team kill to make sure he can get the kill onto Presto. Finished off by Hampter. And another round.
All right, I eat my words. I eat my words. He pointed as an entry and it worked.
All right. The first challenge, or I guess the first challenge now after we've seen all that. We saw them knife round one. Match and Tag picked up a pretty crazy round two. Everyone pistols only in this one, all right? I'm sure you're going to have a little delay on saying that. But pistols only. All right. Let's force them to suffer. Yes.
Suffer? It depends on what gun you use. I mean, if you can grab one of the deagles, you are going to be in a great position. However, there's not many of them. So if they are going to play it, I recommend they pick an op that definitely has it. So I definitely keep an eye out for... I don't even know who has it on attackers now. I don't know if Blackbeard still has it, but I would definitely pick that if I was one of the attackers.
Does Blackbeard's shield go on his back when you have his deagle out?
I
or
believe
does he keep
so.
his shield out the whole time? Okay. I didn't know about that. Huh. Well, we'll see if everyone... I'm assuming not everyone in the lobby will do pistols only, because we only told the one team to do it. But if everyone does it, then I'll laugh. It's not what I would have expected. Is that Disciple going for a spawn peek?
It wouldn't be a competitive staff match if there wasn't a spawn peek.
True.
Doesn't look like he's gonna find anybody. They're already up on the rappel.
Bomb located by
Yes.
attackers.
And it looks like a little bit of control needs to be first gained here. It looks like Disciple actually trying to go for the first pick here. And Meech! It's the scope.
It's gotta be the scope.
Gotta
I
be the
mean,
scope.
we
No skill.
saw it. We saw it from Disciple's side. He was nowhere near him, and he still decided to jump out, and it ends up costing him for it because you had Meech right there ready for him if he did something silly like that.
Definitely, but coming down to the attackers to really get some more space, some more map control. It's really hard to do that when you don't got a lot of bullets to do it. You can see Meech trying to go for floor bangs, Wolf on the other side of the map, and having to run away. Someone coming up at house stairs, or restaurant stairs more like, as there's a double lined up for Matt Mac. He's also using only his pistol. He doesn't need anything. Finds the first, finds the second. It's a headshot to the dome. Zathor down, and it's all up to Micah. I think this pistol is the one that will win the round.
This is the one that's
I
gonna
think-
win the round. This is the op that you want
If it
for
could,
a
if
pistol
there's
only.
any, yeah,
This is it.
it's this one.
Pretty some
Oh!
HP.
The pink outfit gave him away.
HP in a
kinda shocked. I
1v4.
didn't
I
see him
don't
first.
know if it's gonna happen, but this is the gun and the op to do it because he is also very quick.
Sure, he hasn't used any of his abilities, so obviously sticking to the pistols only terminology, I guess that we said. But
I mean, he needs to be careful of the clock. It is not in his favor.
do you think he
If he
clears
wants
the
to make a
window
play,
again
he's gotta
after
do
he
it
already
now.
cleared it? Oh, we saw him. Oh, one shot brings him down. Nice job. Let's do a normal round again, okay? Yeah, so far we're seeing a lot of goofiness, I think, from Match and Tag. I kind of want to see what they pull out this round. Maybe on the attacking half, it's going to be harder. It's Skyscraper, right? We talked about that already. So, after the pistols only came out, we'll have to see really what kind of
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
really goes wrong here for Staff and Co. At least I expect Match and Tag to have something prepared, at least in this round. They're the team who always typically comes prepared, apparently.
I'd agree that attacking is probably going to be a little bit harder for the Match Integrity team. However, they did leave the Blackbeard on the board, which really proved to be that key operator for the round that they won. So I almost want to say he's the win condition for the team, but only time's going to tell based on this round.
10 seconds to go.
Yeah.
5 seconds left.
You know, if I wasn't always
Attackers are
working in the background, I don't know how I'd be able to do things. I feel like I'm always so busy in a stream. You know? It's like we get in and I'm like, alright. Gotta put this in the background. No one knows. But I know.
Chippy knows.
Coming into the actual round here, obviously Mike decides that Blackbeard is all he wants to play. Thorn Gadget goes off, he has to run away from it. All the way to top black already. Sees someone in the hallway! Oh no, Presto!
Oh
Bad
my.
timing! Disciple's gonna find one for himself as well. Charges through the wall. Wolf did not expect that. Nitro does a lot of damage, but caught out by Hampter. Clipped. Gonna find another one here. And Hampter finds another. So obviously we see that the Match and Tag, a lot of gun skill. Hampter doing a lot of work there. This round, JD, do you have one, or should we do the sledgehammer kill?
I think we got to do the sledgehammer kill. We have
Okay.
to slow down these
They
attackers.
must
because
get a sledge.
they have to slow
Sledgehammer
down.
kill.
Again,
That is the
Blackbeard,
challenge for this round.
so critical on that attack. Opening up the wall, getting the positions in, having the shield out in front for the guy who was playing behind it.
defenders protect your bombs from being defused.
If I'm staffing Co here and knowing that they need to get a sledgehammer kill, I'm not leaving like a teammate.
You gotta play buddy
You know,
system. You have
I
to
see
play
that
buddy
they asked
system.
what happens if Sledge dies. Round L. Match and tag just loses the. They should just lose the round. I don't know how it works.
They
I
failed the
can't tell them
challenge.
how to do that.
Hey, I agree.
They
They
have to
would
knife
fail
ball.
the challenge. It is almost pretty much at this point protect the president. The Sledge needs to stay alive to get that kill. If he doesn't, the team should lose the round because of that.
They should. We'll see how they play it out.
10 seconds remaining.
But I can't control them when they do that kind of stuff.
5 seconds.
They need to get the Sledgehammer kill though. They have to make them live. Protect the VIP. It's a VIP, you know. I see Hamster says, "Yo, what?" But regardless, gonna have to see what they come up with here. Imagine Sledge gets spawn killed. I would be pissed.
I think that's what he's looking for, to see if he can get an early pick. But it
He's
looks
like hiding. Zeno is afraid.
he's Sledge. He's hiding. He doesn't want to lose the round for his team. He's gonna be the last one to enter the building. He's gonna be the last to try to go for a kill. His team's gonna set him up to where they can possibly get him down to a one player only and let him have it.
It's just so funny because I don't know how they're gonna manage to do it. Oh my god! Team kill! No!
Oh.
It can't happen like that. But Beach goes down. The Blitz is down, which is one of the people that I would be the most scared about if I was, you know, because they blind me and then all of a sudden I'm stunned for a million years. So.
I'm surprised the Sledge wasn't with the Blitz at that point, because
Oh
that
my! He's
would
gonna get it! No, he team!
No!
Yes! He team killed it!
Diffuser.
Oh my god! That's crazy!
Wow.
Hey,
Hey,
JD, what's the you got a good one for him?
way to take it for the team. Of course I have a good one. We're gonna play the red light, green light. Why
Okay.
not?
This one's all on Cypher, okay? So Cypher, you're leading this one.
This is
Okay.
up to the observer. He decides the fate of what's going on. The attackers got to be slowed down, and that is how we're gonna do it.
That he
But
prevented
the
that. That's
team
crazy.
kill to deny the Sledge is peak siege. I don't think I would have thought about that, but it saved them the round, and they still won it after the fact. Which, shout
Should
out
we
to
do it
them
for
for
only
getting
one
it done.
team? Or should we do it for all the teams? The red light, green light. That is what I did think about. We should do it for all teams. We should do it for all teams. We
All
should do it
teams?
for all teams. We should do
Absolutely.
it.
All teams, slow them down.
I didn't think about that until after we said it.
Observer, make sure that they are random. Make sure they are random, not at a 15 interval or 30.
10 seconds remaining.
Whenever you want. It could be a couple seconds apart for all we care.
That's so funny. to
Let's
me.
cause some chaos in this one.
Like what? We just lost.
Attackers are moving out. Locate a bomb to defuse it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, if he jumps out and we pull the red light, that would be hilarious.
Hey man, it's all on Cypher.
All up to the observer now.
Like,
Their
can you
their
imagine,
fate is
like-
in his hands.
It's like Mike gets so far, he's just like red light.
Probably just say you could probably just say red observer.
Watching him with the time. It doesn't see it. Oh my god.
Oh, Blackbeard's
Blackbeard-
down.
Holy cow. I'm sorry, I'm too busy laughing. It's just so funny to me. Like, Mike had got so far, and then just all of a sudden was just like, hey, got a 1v1, red light. But another pickup
Oh
there, down
no!
to a
Oh, he can't
3v3
pick him
actually.
up.
That back got down. Oh, but he can't revive him, yeah! No, they're stuck, he's down. Oh, getting someone tagged as well. But
Shout out
matching tag,
Zathor for being
Beach
a win.
finding one as well. In the flank by Wolf! 1 versus 2 on the flank. This is where the red light, green light does not help you.
Oh, they got the game. The game's got its own red light, green light going
it's
on.
got its own. Hey, call. Hey, that's so funny. Scared him, he pulled it. Oh! No!
Oh.
Okay, what's the next one? I forgot.
I don't know if we had one. I think
I
we
didn't
gotta
have
kind of
another
let
one.
this one play out. I think
Do a
because it's
normal round,
3-3, correct?
Because we swap sides, yeah. Normal
Yes.
round, normal round.
Hey, shout out our great friend Zathor, who knows our great friend Owen at the moment.
Okay. If Match and Tech gets this round, perfect idea. Oh wait, Zathor's a donut?
Yes. We should put one of the rounds. Zathor
he
gets
was
a kill.
joking about being warmed up for the game too, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He even gave us a screenshot of him getting 8 kills in one game, and he is 0 and 5 at the moment.
Alright. If Match and Take wins this round, we will force them to bunker on site.
The location of a bomb.
Okay. No roaming. Only bunker.
I like it.
I will let them pick the site because that's fair. So they can develop a plan, but bunker only. I can't think of what the other team should do.
Before insertion.
Crap.
5 seconds left.
We could force them to do sledgehammer kill. That'd be funny. We didn't see it
Oh,
yet.
have it reversed? We could do that. We absolutely could do that. Spawn peek again is crazy. Time is from Mike though.
He's getting his pigs. Watch him die here, though. Oh! Is that the oh, it's a blitz. Why are they just playing shields? I hate this, guys. 3 shields and they said, we're gonna win. We're gonna win.
Gotta get the win somehow. Right? This is their opportunity. They need as much as they can get on attack. I don't blame them for taking the shields, but it's definitely something we need to consider more for their attacks.
True. Oh my gosh! That was like the last second! For a second there, I thought Hamster got wallbang.
Drop the bomb.
Oh! The double on the rappel! Matt goes down. The blitz runs him down!
Here we go.
Hamster down. Not able to get the pickup, but at his back, Wolf. The support. 3v4 for the staff and co. How do I get to...
A lot of HP gone from the attackers as well, even though they have the shield.
Oh, that's so... Whoa! The knife!
Oh.
Mike gets away with throws an impact. He's blind, but the blitz goes down. Mike finds a double. Meech picks up the next.
All right.
Force them to bunker. Force them
Wow.
to bunker.
Hey,
Oh
when
my
you
gosh,
count
that's so
them
funny.
down, they're not out. They're not out. The attackers lost a lot of HP that round because
not
of
leave sight.
opening up the wall. They lost a lot of those gunfights. However, the flank from Miketh really was the nail in the coffin there because he had the impacts. He was able to get these shots down, but now they have to bunker in sight and give the attackers the opportunity because as we just saw,
No
they have a
roaming
win
allowed.
condition. Our friend Zathor still needs a kill. We gotta get him a kill.
I'm happy with letting them in this square here, but other than that, nowhere else on the map. Force the bunker. This is where they're stuck.
Bomb located
So,
by attackers.
hopefully,
No front desk, no
there's nothing. They're stuck.
key room. Alright, they're stuck here. Now I'm curious to see how they're going to be playing this. It doesn't really seem like they're picking a lot of ops that you would consider being bunkered down for. I understand the Goyo to kind of slow them down, but I'm not really seeing a whole lot else that really
Attackers objective
they can use to their advantage in sight. Because the Valve can't go below. Can't do anything like that. And this, what is she gonna do with her cams? I'm wondering if Hamster is picking the Valve just for the nitro and the gun at that point.
True. You know, even being bunkered on site, you have to consider a lot of things could go wrong. Doesn't mean that Match and Tech could play verticality or anything like that. They could have put holes in the floor if they wanted to. Like, here we go. We're going to see some verticality from Staff and Co. But all in all, this is tricky scenario.
If I was the attackers right now, I wouldn't be opening up too many floor holes just because
Oh,
that is
look
what
at
they
me!
can use to play back. So I would be very careful what they're opening and make sure that it's ready for them. Because if it becomes too much, it is now a game that gets
This
flipped
is
for the
so funny.
defenders.
They're just stuck on the site. More nades fly up. They are taking damage. But they are stuck. One shot. Gonna find the first one. Micah goes down. Just the tracking as well. It's so funny. But oh, holding an angle on the stairs. Almost picked off. Mac, however, finds Beach. Looking for another one though. Behind the bar. Hamster finds a trade though, but no. Both gonna get it done when they need to. Hamster low HP here, clipped. Also still has full health, but a shotgun. So he's gonna have to find what he can. That's not bunkering! Shame!
Oh, hey!
Shame!
Hey!
Shame!
That is a shame. Round's
Are you
over.
kidding?
Round's
Are you
over.
kidding?
You went out.
Come on, man.
You went out.
Ref might have to review that.
I'd have to review. He was out. We called it at
Is
the
he on
start
the
of the
stairs
round.
too? Wait a minute, you guys! We're breaking the rules. Imagine Tech is breaking the rules.
I need a flag on the play on this one. I need a flag.
Happening? I'm making fun of them for this one. So funny. They broke the rules regardless.
They broke the
That's so
rules
funny.
and still won. What a coincidence. Breaking the rules to get in a dub. Hey, we don't do that here. We don't do that here.
Pistols only and bunker. Alright, well double down. Alright.
I think at this point, we gotta talk about Operation Get Zathor a kill. He has still not gotten one.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
This yeah, it's true. Is he seriously not gotten one still?
He is still
0 and
0-6.
James Bond is on his way. Alright, James Bond is on his way.
We
0-7.
talk about for a second, Hampton, 13 and 4. Can we talk about that?
He did get a freebie. He did sit on the staircase.
That is true. He did cheat, but he is still 13 and 4.
Oh my god. I can't believe they broke the rules right off the bat. Twice.
Gap can trap is not pistol. I
Can't
like
believe
it.
That's so funny.
Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
Alright, we gotta think of another challenge. Ugh, I'm running out of ideas. I'm thinking. I will actually, let's Twitch chat. Did they have a good one? 5 shields only. Shotguns only win. That sounds awful. No way Hampton
does
didn't go
sound
for a knife
awful.
on the blitz. That is so funny. Magic Tech is just LU and coaches.
It pretty much is.
That's why it's rigged.
It is a little rigged, yes. And we're trying to help Staffing Co. But Match Integrity is cheating. There's
They
only
are, that's the crazy
only so
part.
much we can do.
Why is he using his only a pistol?
Hey, he got one though. Aether got a kill. He's on the board. He now has gone from a donut to a breadstick. He is moving his way up in the world.
Presto gets a nade kill, yes. He saw his feet. Oh, wait, he's cheating. He saw him through the wall.
And
Aether's
Aether's back
3
down.
versus 3. 1 and 7. Get him a breadstick to go with the 7.
Let's talk about this Azami setup. If I was an attacker, I'd be furious.
Nice jump by 1 shot. The pistol, though! Holds on. He has to reload. Maybe they'll pick up on this. The free fire starts coming out. No! Not able to get it
A
done.
body spray. I'm gonna say it right now. This round was interesting for the sole purpose that Zathor 1 got his kill. 2, there was a nade kill. And 3, the Azami setup
We
they
have-
had, but it
So we have
still
Staff
didn't
and
work
Co.
for him.
Do shotguns and shields
I agree.
only. Shotguns and shields only.
I
like that
agree.
one. Can you make sure Staff and Co is doing that?
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
I meant that for Staff and Co. But anyways,
Learn the teams, man. Oh. I think that in terms of the match team, they are very balanced. I mean, obviously you have Zathor struggling, which I know I'm talking a lot about him, but he is 1-7. However,
I'm gonna bully him now.
However,
No.
Hamster is the one picking up the pace for him. He is picking up the weight right now at that 13-5 mark, where the rest of the team is balanced. So they're balancing out, and it's kind of showing why. However, the attackers, they're a bit kind of spread out again, right? We have 2-8, not great, but again, we have 9-6, and we have a lot of these balanced KDs. So I'm wondering what we can try to do here to get this game a lot more balanced, because it seems like one side either dominates or the other side just falls apart.
Oh, he looked at the timing! No! I was like, I'm just waiting, like holding my breath to see what happens. Might get this a shotgun, gonna get one at a one shot. That's why you gotta have the shield leading you in.
Bomb diffuser has been dropped.
And it looks, they're not even getting into the building right now. They're holding this down. That is unfortunate. If I've ever seen a siege time, and that was
Oh,
it.
Matt,
But
no!
Matt, what the two-piece?
Oh my gosh. Pulling it together
Bringing
for
it
his
back
team.
to even.
Recovered their diffuser.
The Presto still has his shield, so there's still a lot of work to be done
This
here.
is
2 minutes on the
winnable.
clock.
Bomb has been located.
This is winnable for the attackers. They have everything they need. They have utility. They have the shield. And they're going, and it looks like they only have one nitro for the defensive side, which they should be able to use this for their advantage. But a quick pick from the window hop in. Now it's looking less manageable.
I was gonna say, next round we can do everyone only shotguns as well. I think that's fair, just kind of force them all into the same weapon. Secondary or primary shotguns. Obviously they can't hear us. I think that's the funny part, is we've just said, hey, we're gonna try this, see how it works. But
We
yeah,
make the rules. We make the rules. But they just don't follow it, which is understandable.
Oh, the matching tag, you know, they gotta make
From the
they-
match,
they-
from the match
they gotta
team
they gotta
specifically.
understand the rules from their perspective, you know. They're the ones who use the rules. All right, everyone shotguns only. Let them know that. Shoddy
What's
only.
the chow? Who are you chowing? You're chowing the bandit. And that's not going to work in your favor if you can't hit the bulletproof camera that's stationary on
Shout
him.
out to Mustard Cornet who said that. Bottom frag must get opening picks. We send them in one-on-one. That would be funny.
Send them in one-on-one? So down.
That would be funny if that could happen, but I don't know if that'll happen.
However,
next thing you know,
match
Match
integrity
Integ
is
is, like,
on
sending
match point.
Defenders
They are on
protect
match
your
point.
bombs from being defused by attackers.
Which means if Staff and Company wants to stay in this game, they have to go all out, and this is a must-win. It's a do or die for them.
Bomb located by attackers.
True. If we have enough time after this, we'll try and get someone in for a little brief interview, talk to them, have some fun. But we're gonna try and see, because one of our staff players could not make it to the game. He's gonna try and 1v1 Zathor. So the Zathor is not looking too good. So this will probably be a little first.
It's the map. It's the map. It's the map. Surely,
Put him on
right?
Sky. We'll put him on Oregon or something.
5 seconds to insertion.
We're playing Bunker Wars. I don't know about that one. That is a Jinxie avenue. Let's let him have that one. So curious to
Just
see
so
how
running
this
with the
one's gonna
shotgun,
turn
it's
out.
so
I wonder,
awesome.
are they gonna try to do the underneath part? They're playing just vert again,
Oh, we
or if
saw
they're
him.
actually gonna try to rush in here.
He chased him. Meech.
Oh,
That's
we're
so
trolling.
funny.
All right. Yeah, you
The
get shot for
shotguns
that
do
one.
so much damage, especially when you're attacking. It's so hard
Not
to
for
get
me,
something
they
done.
don't.
I
Not
should have
for
thought
me,
about
they
that,
don't.
actually. I didn't think about how unfair shotguns are as an attacker. But hey, maybe they'll get it done. Hampter finds another there. Wolf.
Can we talk about
Trade.
this open site? I like what they did to the floor design on this one.
Oh!
The
Wolf
interior
gets
looks
another.
great.
Wolf sees another. Oh my gosh! Wait, it's winnable for Disciple now. Oh, what the heck is happening? I didn't see him.
Thor with the 2.
But hey, a very awesome, fun show match. We'll try and get someone in here to talk to him real quick as well. But yeah, we're gonna try and see if we can get a 1v1 to happen real quick. Sorry, someone messaged me. You're gonna see
15
hopefully
and
nothing.
7 is insane.
Going out back to us, perfect timing. Someone was first. All right.
15 and 7 is insane. Hey, shout out to whoever that was. I didn't see the name. I just saw the kills. That's great.
At the same time. All right. Zathor's getting in here.
Oh, the man himself. The big man himself. The one to talk about.
We
Kidding.
will see him in here in a moment. We're gonna do this all live, by the way, guys, so you see what it's like.
Live time action. Yeah, what do we think? Was that a banger game? Did we do enough to try to help out staffing company? I think we
Yeah, what do
did.
you think?
But I think the shotguns were just a little bit too much for them, especially when they were on defense, because they could just hold the angles and they walked into it.
True.
But we did our best. The red light, green light was working in their favor. Match integrity also did cheat.
They did cheat.
They
I'm
did
blaming
cheat. So I'm gonna say maybe what was it, a 7-4 game? It should have been 7-5. I think we should just give them the round, just for the pity that they cheated. But I think it was still a good game regardless. Obviously, some interesting ones. It was Hampter. Hampter was the one with 15. Absolute gunner. Right? He should be very proud for how he carried his team. And we're going to see kind of how that turns out for him.
them. All right. Zathor has joined. We probably can't hear him yet, though. Okay, yeah. So stream can't hear him yet. But he'll be up on the screen in a moment. Zathor, your camera's pointed up, pointed down.
Up, down, left,
We
right.
looking. We good. Hey!
Whoa, Chippy.
Spoiler. It's a post-game interview
It's
scene.
2 R's in Zathor.
Dude! You had
Oh,
one job.
Man,
Come
I typed it
on.
fast.
Chippy, I'm
Wait,
not
guys,
smart,
blink.
man.
Blink real quick.
Come on.
Blink real quick.
Blink.
You won't know. Oh, look at that.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It's fixed.
It's fixed. Anyways, Zathor, congrats on the dub. I think it was a lot closer this time than last time. I'll say that much.
Dude, I
Ain't
want
no
to...
way he does the Rizzler.
I want
That's
to say
crazy.
to start, that was a really fun game. Even though we couldn't actually even though we couldn't actually fix the match to get ourselves an ace in round 1, because we tried to, we really did, until Matt Mac decided to blow it. But
you guys suck. I hate this.
Dude,
you guys break it every time. Same with you cheating, by the way. We're gonna talk about
You
that.
cheated. Hey.
You guys, like,
no.
you know you're supposed to bunker and someone's going house stairs and sprinting into terrace, and I'm like...
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. All right, don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger, man.
Well, you had a donut for 6 rounds.
All right, listen.
so-
Let's talk about it. All right,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
let's talk about it, because I saw a message in chat from Cam, who said, "Hey, someone tell Zathor game started. By the way, the goal was to go like 0-9."
No.
And I fumbled it on the bunker round in the basement, in the basement, in the master bedroom, where we bunkered, and Matt swung into my bullets when I was just kind of spraying just to spray. Unfortunately, it got his ass killed. And Matt blew it again. He's 2 for 2 for blowing it. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's all Matt's fault. So at that point, it was just like, all right, we might as well shoot back. And then, yeah. Went 5 and 7.
I've been working in the background and stuff like that, but
Minus
yes,
2.
Great
-2.
stuff.
-2.
-2. You did your best. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Zathor, I want to ask you before you get ready to do this 1v1 that we're going to watch for a moment before we get into our actual game today.
Yeah.
What do you think? Any shout outs across the season? You know, what do you think about the Midwest season this year?
I want to shout out all the Match and Tech team, because I've worked really closely with them. Obviously, you guys, you put in a shit ton of work. It's been super cool to see. My team, love you guys. You guys are the best. Even though we had a generational fumble of a game in our playoffs, but we don't talk about all that. It's not important. I want to shout out my dog. He wants to say hi. He wanted his
Love the
moment of
dog.
fame.
We love the
So
dog.
there he is. That's Cal, everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was super fun. I've loved this season. This season has been awesome, and I'm excited to see what's next for us. So
Gotcha. Well, awesome, man. I mean, it's been great. I love all the work that you've been able to do this so far this season. We gave shout outs earlier to the match and tag team. Stats team did way more work, sadly, than you guys.
oh yeah,
I got to
for
give
sure.
them credit where credit's due.
For
But
sure.
the match and tag, you guys hold up the back end. Let's be real. It wouldn't, a lot of stuff wouldn't run without the people in the background like you guys. So big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for all your work this season. It's been awesome.
Hell yeah.
I do have one question for
Mhm.
Zathor and the team.
Mhm.
What was the decision to constantly put Micah on the Blackbeard?
Okay, so us fellas, right? We like playing the game, right? We're here for a good time, right? But a certain Micah, we've been playing a lot of standard games lately. Not a lot of cheaters in there. We get to have a great time. And a lot of the standard games we've been playing, I've been seeing a certain individual named Micah lock Blackbeard and just book it into the objective. And halfway through the round, every single time, we as a team, we look to each other and we say, "Holy shit, Mike's in sight!" In sight. And guess what happened? The same exact damn thing. So I think that's where that idea came from. He wanted to just walk in a sight, and it fucking works. So,
It worked
kudos
for
to
him in
That
the
was
first
crazy.
round.
It was working.
Hey,
That was nuts.
I was like, he's gonna rush into sight. It's
Mhm.
not gonna work out because he's playing too aggressive, and he gets what, a 3 or 4 piece?
Yeah, it kept working.
Hey,
Absolutely nuts.
I'll eat my words on that. It worked, but
I'll let
I
him have
couldn't
it.
believe that you guys threw Micah on it.
He had a blast. As far as I know, like our team had a blast doing it the entire thing. The penalties were super fun. It was a fun twist on the game, especially on skyscraper, which I find to be quite boring at times. So we made it fun. So I enjoyed it.
It's good to hear.
So thanks to you guys for hosting. I appreciated it, and
Yeah.
hope to see what's next.
Busy schedule. Hopefully you're able to get into your 1v1.
Oh yeah,
We might not be able to watch it. We might have to
it's
go to a break
whatever.
and get ready to go for the game.
It's whatever.
But
Good little
if you
filler.
can, record it. I have a break
Yeah.
in between the games, maybe. We'll check it
Oh,
out.
yeah.
We'll see. But regardless, I want to thank you guys so much for a great time. Thank you, Zathor. It's been awesome. You guys did amazing this whole season. I can't thank you guys enough for an awesome time. Seriously.
Mhm.
You're
Yeah, and
supposed
again,
to join
thanks
Zathor.
to
That's
you
what I was
guys. Thanks to
told.
all the Midwest people, all the community. We love you guys. You guys are awesome, and hope to see you guys again in the next season as well.
I appreciate that. Well, we'll see you later, Zathor. And with that in mind, thank you guys so much for tuning into our little bit of a staff fun segment. All right. We're going to be getting in the actual casters, the actual observers, the actual people who are meant to get this stuff done.
You mean
JD has to actually run to
you mean
class
that,
like now.
You mean they don't want us back on the stream?
I don't want to cast 2 more grand finals.
That's true. I got class.
but yeah. So awesome stuff, you guys. Thank you so much. We were gonna head to a break. We'll see you guys after.
Hold on.
some actual games.
I gotta
Oh,
say
JD,
one
that's right.
thing.
Hold on.
I gotta say one thing. First, that was a great game. And second, that's it from me. I do hope that you guys have a great rest of the grand finals. They're going to be great games. Please make sure to be excited in the chat, but please remember to be respectful. But other than that, just have a great time. Enjoy it. It happens once a semester. And please do not at me during class with spoilers. I want to watch the game.
I
with
do
you
that
guys.
enough.
He does
I
it
do that
enough.
enough.
Don't spoil
do.
it, but I will be in chat. Have a great time. But it has been fun for me, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, JD. It's been awesome. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate your time. And with that in mind, thank you guys. It's Chippy and I.
Chippy and I. Wow. Hey. What do I chop
JD
liver?
and I signing out. We'll see you guys next time.
I don't want